Good morning, Marco Island. This is the Good Morning Marco podcast. I am your host, Ryan Sullivan.
And I'm Jordan. Oh,
you could say your full name if you want to.
I realized that you said that afterwards, and I was like, Jordan was really short.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Ryan Sullivan. So you could say, and I'm your other host.
Okay, wait.
Jordan.
So do we start this whole thing over?
No, we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling. This is great content right here. Podcasts are built on people misunderstanding things.
Okay, word. That's going to happen to me a lot. But
okay. My name's Ryan Sullivan.
And I'm also your host, Jordan Kraley.
Okay, I thought you were going to say, and I'm also Ryan Sullivan. I mean, we're going to have a massive problem there for a second.
It's just like the Spider-Man thing where they're pointing.
No, I should start a podcast with some of the guys from the Ryan meetup and just, it's like, I'm Ryan, and I'm Ryan. And this is The Ryan Show. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this is the Good Morning Marco podcast. Whether you're listening to this in the morning or not, well, you should be listening to it in the morning because it's a morning show. Even though we are currently recording this at like 4 in the afternoon, that's totally okay.
Who's got to know?
Who knows, except for the people who just heard that. Literally everyone who's ever going to listen to this podcast probably just heard that because most people start with the first episode. Jordan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. This is the first time I've done something like this.
Yeah, this is like the 40th time I've done something like this.
Wow.
Because so this is this podcast number 3. I don't really count my second podcast, the podcast that I work on, as my second podcast because I have one episode that I actually appear on.
Interesting. I didn't know about this one.
Oh yeah, no. So of course the Pickle Jar podcast. It's the other podcast that I do. Go and listen. That's literally everywhere. It's probably linked in the description and everything. We have 38 episodes of that right now.
Whoa.
And with more on the way. And then the other podcast that I work on is the Next podcast, spelled NXT. I have one episode on that. That's like episode 18, called, what is it called? It's The Necessity of Faith. That's what it is. But anyway, so Marco Island podcast. I realized that there aren't any there aren't really any Marco Island podcasts.
Yeah, no, I've definitely never seen anything that is similar.
Yeah, I've always wanted to learn a little bit more about the island and about the area because I've lived here my whole life. And I was thinking, I was literally driving to technically Jordan's previous place of employment last week. It was like Monday. And I'm driving there and I'm like, I want to start a podcast about Marco Island and Naples and Everglades and all these fancy pants areas. And I was like, who would be the perfect co-host for that? And the first person that popped in my mind was you.
May I ask why?
So number one, I think you're very good at running things, especially with I have seen you host events before, and you do have previous acting experience, which is always
Barely.
a very to some degree you have been on a stage before, so you know somewhat how to talk in front of people. Also, you don't have an annoying voice. Oh. It would be very unfortunate if it's just like, hi, welcome to Vocal Fried True Crime podcast number 489.
The very monotone,
yeah,
dead inside.
100%.
I'd like to think I'm not dead inside, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, a monarch butterfly just flew by.
That's
it's
so
incredible.
Pretty.
So Jordan, why don't you tell the wonderful people at home or in their car, wherever they're listening to this, a little bit about what we're doing here?
Basically, I think we're going to try to review some places around the island, get some insider scoops eventually.
Some insider scoops.
Yeah.
Makes me think of, did you ever go to Disney World when you were a kid?
I think the first time I went to Disney, I was 15.
Okay. So back in the early aughts, so 2005 or 2006, it might have been on a lot after this, but that's like the last time I went to Disney. There was the Disney 365 that would play in all of the Disney World resorts at Disney.
So it's like a song?
No. It was like a little like news show about Disney World, but it was the same recycled content all the time. It would be all I can think is it's not Maria Menounos, the girl who does the movie theater ads. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I do, yeah.
Okay, the Regal Cinemas.
The Regal ones, yeah. And it's like the little questions and like...
It was kind of similar to that. It was a girl like very similar to that. I just remember her like going up and whispering a secret in Mickey Mouse's ear, and then Minnie Mouse going like, oh. She would like interview like the costumed like characters, and it would just respond with them like doing this and like subtitles underneath. I don't know why I wanted to go on that tangent, but that's what I thought of immediately. So, Jordan, a little bit about yourself.
I've lived on Marco, Naples almost my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've also lived in Louisiana.
Oh, wait, where in Louisiana did you live? Because I knew that, but I didn't remember that. I don't choose to
Some people
put
call
things
it
to memory.
Alec. On a map, you'll find it Alexandria. So it's like top middle-ish.
Okay, I have been to New Orleans and spent a very insignificant amount of time in Louisiana. I've driven through several times.
I feel you.
But so why did you move away from the area, and then why did you move back?
Well, originally when I moved away from the area, it was like during the pretty bad economy in the early 2000s.
Oh, like 2008 era. Yeah. Okay.
So we
Understandable.
went and moved with my grandma, my Nana. Mm-hmm. And then eventually we came back. We lived on Marco for a couple years up until I was in middle school. And then I still went to middle school down here at MICMS.
Okay.
But I lived in Golden Gate Estates.
Okay,
so
yeah.
for like 2.5 years, I drove.
So the house that you used to have in Golden Gate, you lived there while you were attending MICMS?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Palmetto Ridge.
Okay, and have you done any college?
Yeah, I went to Santa Fe up in Gainesville for a while.
Oh, okay. I've never even heard of Santa Fe.
Yeah, it's like the, FSW, how it's like the community kind of college, and then it sends you to the next bigger one. It's basically that one up there for Gainesville.
Oh, okay.
Feeds directly to UF. But, I don't know, it just kind of wasn't going the way I wanted to. So I did spend some time at FSW.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm just working.
Yeah, I applied to go to FSW. I never did.
How come?
Well, so I grew up on the island. I was born at NCH. I have lived in the same house my entire life, right over by the park. Not this park. For our audio listeners, we are recording this at Veterans Park today, which this is incredible. I love being
really
outside.
Nice day.
Yeah, if there's just enough cloud cover that makes me a little bit nervous that we might get rained out later, but not enough time for us to actually be worried about it.
Yeah, I'm really glad I'm not sweating. I'm wearing long sleeves.
I'm sweating. There's also a dove off in the distance, or an owl or something. Listen.
I can see the little...
I bet they can hear that.
I hope
they can.
If not, we have to hunt it down and get a recording of it, insert it in later.
Yeah, but where was I? Oh yeah, so I grew up on the island. I grew up on Marco, so I'm very familiar with the area. I know this place like the back of my hand. I went to Tommy Barfield Elementary. I went to Marco Island Charter Middle School, and I went to Marco Island Academy. So I went to all three schools. I've never done any. Okay, that's not true. I went to Laley Elementary for one day.
One day?
One day.
Do you hate it that much?
Yeah. No. Wait, no, that's not what happened. No. I went... Okay, there was a preschool on the island that was at where the family church is now. That was my original preschool. I went there for one day. One of my classmates, who shall remain unnamed because I still know her, she peed on the floor, and I told the teacher, hey, why are you trying to clean up that with a broom? You should try using a mop. And she got very mad at me, and then myself and the other girl were not allowed to eat lunch that day and sat about a foot in front of one of those old like staticky like tube TVs where we watched Peter Pan on VHS.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like 1 foot away. And I don't know if you remember those, but when you were that close to him, like, you could feel, like, your eyes starting to burn.
Oh, 100%. I used to have one of those, and I would literally watch The Wizard of Oz over and over and over again.
I didn't watch The Wizard of Oz until I saw it on DVR in my mom's room one day, like, when I was probably, like, 9. That wasn't one of my movies growing up. I had a lot of those like that, but growing up on the island, I have a very unique perspective on life because I don't know living anywhere other than a vacation destination. So I don't necessarily always experience the vacation aspects of Marco. Like, I don't go to the beach that often.
Really?
Yeah, I've probably been to the beach like within the past year. This was actually the first time in 4 years I didn't go to the beach on 4th of July. If we don't count like going to kayaking, I haven't been to the beach in at least 9 months.
Oh, whoa.
Like, at the very least, probably even more than that. I know for a fact 1 year ago I went to the beach, but on 4th of July, but it probably isn't any other time since then. Mm-hmm. But I chose not to go to college for 2 reasons. Number one, I applied to go to FSW, but it was only to sort of like appease the people around me because I sort of knew I didn't want to go to college because I was just like, hey, what I want to do, I don't know what that entirely is, so why would I waste time and money going to college? And most of the people I know that had similar thoughts but went to college anyway had dropped out.
Yeah, that's kind of my sitch.
Yeah. And I ended up getting a really nice, comfy job without having to go to college. That I probably should have gone to college for, but I didn't, and it works out anyway, and now I'm in charge of things. So
oh, yeah.
It's a pretty...
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So, Marco Island. What is your favorite thing about Marco Island?
Honestly, I really like when it's during season, and depending on where I work, I really enjoy getting to know why people chose to come to Marco.
Yeah.
And, like, the different things that they enjoy when they're here for, like, a week or so. Like, to be honest, it's just, I've always been kind of like a people person, so just kind of getting into their brain and knowing that stuff.
See, that's why I wanted you on this podcast. it's that perspective, because it's something that I've realized with our age group is that a lot of people who live on Marco and have been on Marco for a significant amount of time hate it here. And I kind of want to get down to why that is. I want to figure that out. Maybe that could be something that maybe that could be something that we explore on this podcast.
Yeah.
If you live on Marco and you absolutely hate it here, leave a comment and maybe we can feature you on the podcast.
Yeah, we got some real questions.
Yeah, so you actually have a list of questions here. I don't want to dominate everything because I tend to do that on podcasts.
It's okay. I'm just kind of shy and quiet.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
so go ahead and say some of the things that you wanted to say.
Let's figure some things out. Do you want me to ask you personal questions?
I suppose, yeah. Why not? I want the people to sort of get to know us as people and see why they should listen to us about things on Marco.
Okay.
So,
well, one thing I could think of is, do you have any pets? 'Cause
I do.
Like, is there anywhere on Marco you take them?
We're putting on the screen right now. We got Rocky. So Rocky, he is my son. There's an argument about people with their dogs, like, oh, is that my best friend or is that my child? He's my child. He's my child, and my sister's dog Daisy. This is her. That's my roommate.
I love that.
We're sort of chill. She's not. Actually, you know what? It would probably look better if I put it right here. On the wide camera. But yeah, so I've got 2 dogs. One dog is actually mine. That's Rocky. Rocky just recently turned 5 months old. He is a Siberian Husky mixed with God knows what. I got him local. He was born out of wedlock. So his father is unknown. We got him from the Big Cypress Animal Clinic. They had a litter of puppies. It's like, hey, these people need these dogs like out of their apartment right now. They're going to get kicked out. So we got Rocky there. And then I also have a tortoise.
What?
I have a tortoise named Toto. He is probably
Toto,
about...
like the band?
He wasn't named after Toto the band. So there are two things that people immediately assume when they're like, hey, did you name your tortoise Toto after the fact that or three things people assume. After Toto the band, Toto the dog from Wizard of Oz, or Toto as in like toe-tis, Toto, no. So it's actually it's a secret fourth thing. There is a movie that came out in 2006 called Gamera the Brave.
I've never heard of that.
So Gamera the Brave is the final installment in the Gamera franchise, which Gamera was Daii's, the Japanese production company's response to Toho's Godzilla. The original Godzilla movie came out in 1954. I believe the original Gamera movie, Gamera the Invincible, came out, I want to say, in 1967. So they're like, this other Japanese production company is like, well, they got a giant lizard, we're going to make a giant turtle. So Gamera is the friend of all children. He's got like a theme that goes like, Gamera, dun, 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 Gamera. It's some wild stuff. I was completely obsessed with like all like giant monster stuff, specifically Japanese giant monsters. I never watched any. I've almost never watched any anime, but I'm like super into like Godzilla movies and stuff like that.
Have you seen the new one that released on Netflix?
Oh, on Netflix.
On Netflix, not the Godzilla. And
Godzilla
Kong
minus
one.
one?
Yeah, Godzilla.
Yeah, I saw Godzilla minus one in theaters.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah, and I cried. It was honestly the best. I think it was the best movie that released last year.
I agree.
Which that I don't know if you do agree with that, because that's going against Oppenheimer and Barbie.
I don't know. I think I still agree because, to be honest, like I don't know. I feel like nothing really pulled my heartstrings as much as that one did. You know, the way that it got into knowing all the characters and stuff.
That's the thing. Godzilla movies are always so terrible about getting to know the human characters. And Godzilla minus one, it just did it. It did it so well. It's something that it's very rare for movies like that. But to circle back, the movie Gamera the Brave was about this kid who his name was Toru, and his mom, who passed, would always call him Toto as a like a nickname, and so no one calls him Toto anymore because his mom died. And then he found this like tortoise in this like glowing red shell, and he names the tortoise Toto, and then like Toto starts like flying and stuff, and then grows up to be Gamera. It's actually of the quality that is generally assumed from most Gamera movies, it's incredible. If you compare it to Godzilla minus one, it's a dud. But if you compare it to any other Gamera movie, it's really good. So that's why I call him Toto. And then we also have two lizards. We have a bearded dragon, one named Bonnie. That is my sister's lizard, but I take care of her most of the times because Toto lives outside, closer to Cassie, so Cassie takes care of Toto, and then I take care of Bonnie because I don't care touching like night crawlers and worms and stuff. I do care actually a lot, but it's fine. I care less than she does. And then so Bonnie is my sister's lizard, and then also Bonnie's a bearded dragon, and then my dad has Lenny, a Euromastic lizard, which he is being boarded at our house until my dad's house in Tennessee is finished. So,
interesting.
You know, okay, first, do you have any pets? And then I have another question for you.
I do, technically. my boyfriend has a dog.
Right.
Hattie, Hattie.
Is that the crustiest dog I've ever seen?
It's like Muppy. Yeah, you call her Muppy.
Here's a picture of what's her name?
Hattie.
Hattie is the. You're gonna have to send me a picture of one with like her tongue out. Like,
she
how
always has
old
her
is
tongue
she?
out. She's 10.
Okay,
yeah.
She looks like 27.
Listen,
like she looks like put her out to pasture.
We got back
like,
from North Carolina, and I brought her to the Kava Bar, and she went rolling in all the dirt and stuff in North Carolina, and I hadn't given her a bath yet. In
maybe you
the
should
dog's
consider
defense,
doing that.
It's been done.
Okay, good. Yeah. I understand. Rocky is in significant need of a bath right now. It's been a few weeks. But so my other question for you was so of course you grew up on the island. When and why did your parents move to the island?
So when my dad was younger and he turned 18, his dad lived here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he left Louisiana.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was about like 32 years ago.
Oh, okay. I was trying to see which one of us predates on Marco, family-wise.
Probably yours.
Probably, yeah. Okay, keep going.
But he moved down when he was like 18 or so, and he worked at the water sports on the beach.
Oh, okay.
And people would call him like Legend of the Beach and stuff. Like he did the parasailing, he did jet ski tours.
Wait, what's his name?
Jason
Kraley. I'll have to ask my dad if he recognizes that name.
Yeah, well, because you know Liberty?
Yes.
Her grandfather worked at the beach with my dad, and like after many years when her and I became friends in the first grade, they met each other one day when we were all like playing or whatever, and they were like, oh my gosh, I remember you.
Oh.
And so it's like kind of weird. It's kind of full circle.
That's kinda
I feel
cool.
like a lot of things on Marco, for my life at least, have come full circle.
No, one thing about Marco is it's not that small of a place until you've been here for a while.
Yeah.
Until you were like, it's like, wow, you kind of get to know everyone in the area.
Yeah.
And there are some people who I can't wait to interview on this show, who have capitalized on that. There are some Marco legends that I can't wait to talk to for the show. People who have turned themselves into Marco legends recently, or people who have been legends forever. I want to interview a Mackle. That would be cool. Like if I know Barbara Mackle is still around, if I remember correctly.
We'll find her.
A Mackle, a Doxy, Bob Woodward would be a dream to have on the pod. Do you know who Bob Woodward is?
I actually don't.
He is a Marco Island historian.
Ooh.
So I don't know if is it Bob Woodward or is it Craig Woodward? One of them is a historian on Marco. The other one is the person who was the whistleblower about Watergate. And I don't remember if it was Craig or Bob Woodward. I don't remember. Anyway.
Wild. Yeah, one thing about coming back to Marco, like, after high school and I came here to work, was, like, working over at the Kava Bar. Honestly, so many people that I remember their 12-year-old faces and stuff, and then coming back and seeing them in their 20s, I'm just in awe, and getting to know them again and seeing who remembers me or who doesn't remember me.
Well,
yeah.
So the wild thing about that, as far as my memory serves me, Jordan, I met you in August of 2023. You seem to have a different memory.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So basically, when we were younger, I mean, obviously, I'm younger than you by like what, a year or two.
Are you 20 or
I'm
21?
20.
Okay, yeah, I'm 22.
Okay.
So
yeah. So you know, I kind of remembered you barely from school, but at the same time, I decided that I wanted to try theater. And I decided to do it with Miss Gina. Gina was my neighbor for a little bit. I'd watch her dog and stuff. And
which dog, Riley?
I don't remember which one. It was the little tiny one.
Well, that was a big gust of wind right there. I could actually hear that one. Riley was a bug.
A bug.
A bug.
A bug.
A bug is, I don't know, I think it's a mix of a beagle and a pug. A bug. Because I remember she wrote a book called Bowie and the Bug.
Interesting. You see, if I saw a picture, I would be like, "That's the dog."
I might text
that
Bowie
dog
and ask if I can get a picture of Riley. I think it was Riley. I think Riley was, because that wasn't Gina's dog. That was Bowie's dog. That was her daughter's dog.
So,
yeah, but
I decided I was going to try theater. You know, I always tried a bunch of stuff. I did a lot of sports.
What play
and
were
stuff.
you in?
I did. Oh my gosh, what is it called? It's one with Scrooge.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yes.
Christmas Carol. Almost said Christmas Story, because I was also in Christmas Story.
No, I did a Christmas Carol, and I believe I actually still have the script.
I do too.
Because I remember when people were practicing their parts, I would doodle on it.
I want to see this. I want to see this so bad.
I have to find it. I'll have to find it. I don't. I mean, I also just moved again. I'm sure I put it in like a keepsake box, to be honest with you, because I don't get rid of anything. But
same.
But yeah. So for part of it, I was actually 2 different characters, and I had a costume change and everything. So for one part, I was your wife dancing with you.
What?
Yes.
When?
I forget what part it is. It's like when they all have the ball kind of thing. And there was that when like we go from like the 2 different sides of the theater, of the stage.
That wasn't in Phantom, was it? Phantom of the Opera? No, that couldn't have been Phantom. Okay, this was Christmas Carol, right?
This was Christmas
Did
Carol.
you only do Christmas Carol?
I only did Christmas Carol.
Okay, so I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, there was like
all.
a weird part because then, sorry, there was a gnat in my face.
The joys of doing this outside has been incredible so far.
Because I think it was Joe, right, who was Scrooge?
Yeah, Joe Byrne.
So, like, I forget what all exactly happened in that, but I was that character because I had to wear a completely different dress.
Was this during Christmas Present or Christmas Past?
I think it was past.
Okay.
Because in another one, I was
Christmas
your child.
Christmas Present, I was the grandfather. Character's name was Belle's father, and you were Belle.
Yes.
I don't remember that, but like
and
I remember the scene.
I remember I was always so nervous and stuff that when we were practicing for a while, I kind of knew my line. And mind you, I only had like one line at this exact scene. We're sitting at a dinner table. And I was so nervous I was going to mess it up.
I'm praying you're about to mention my faux pas. My faux pas. Do you know what a faux pas is?
No.
So a faux pas is like a mistake, but it's like a misstep, or like, faux pas just means mistake.
Oh. No, well, I mean, I don't know if I don't think this was your mistake, because I was so afraid of making a mistake. I had Gina print my line and tape it to the plate.
Oh, yeah. I actually remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that now. Yeah. Okay.
She taped my line to the plate, and I would, like, look up a little bit and, like, make eye contact with the people at the table, like, I'm not about to read this off of the plate, and then I would read it off the plate and then look to the crowd, like, I did that so well.
Yeah. So I thought you were about to mention when I fell.
You fell? I don't remember that.
I fell during a show, like an actual showing. I think it was a matinee. So I played 2 characters in A Christmas Carol. I played Jacob Marley, which was the initial ghost that appears to Scrooge. And I just remember before I had chains, I was in the background. I was like, rattle, I'm rattling chains. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, so I came out with like, I'm rattling chains. And I just remember like Matt Martinez losing it. And then, so I played Jacob Marley, and one of the things about Jacob Marley is I'm in all gray for that. Like, I have like a gray shawl, I have gray pants, I have gray socks over my black shoes.
Really? Oh my gosh, the socks are what made you slip.
So I was trying to get the socks off of the shoes, and I don't remember if it was Abby Martin or if it was Megan or if it was Bowie or who it was, but I was backstage. I was trying to get the socks off of my shoes, and they're like, don't worry about it. I'm like, but what if I slip? They said, you're not gonna slip. So then I, as Belle's father, a couple of scenes later, like this is closer to the end of the show, I have all these boxes in my hands because like I've got all these gifts from my grandkids, of course. I've got all these boxes, and then I don't even remember what my line was supposed to be, but I come in, and the moment I walk through the door, I slip, I fall flat on my back, and it hurted. It hurted batted. And I immediately just go, well, seems like Grandpa's got slippery shoes on.
I do remember that.
And I still think that was one of my greatest improvs ever. I'm sure there's funnier things that I could have said. Like I could have gone. If I was thinking,
call laugh alert.
If I was thinking, I would have gone, oh, my hip, I've fallen and I can't get up. I've fallen and I can get up. Look at that, I'm still as spry as I was 40 years ago. Yippee.
The heel tap.
Oh, I love playing old people in plays. I've done so many shows on the island.
Yeah, but in your most recent one, you were an old guy too, yeah?
Was I? What was the most recent show I did?
The one with Jack.
Oh, yeah. I did, what was that called? I completely forgot what that was called. Oh, Marriage and Malarkey. In Marriage and Malarkey, that was at the middle school with Gina. That was, I played an original character that is not based on anyone who may have started a business on the island many years ago. Definitely not based on anybody.
I love that was audible.
I try really hard to be audible on the podcast. By the way, if you're listening on Audible, you wouldn't have been able to see that anyway. I didn't know you were chill like that, like thing. So let me think. Jordan, where's your favorite place to eat on the island?
I probably have
Wait, no. I'm going to change this question up.
Whoa.
All right, so let's say you're on death row, right? For like tax evasion, right?
Thank you.
And you haven't paid your taxes since like 2009.
I wish.
And which, I mean, you weren't paying taxes back in 2009, but
no, I know that, but even still.
So you're on death row for tax evasion. They come in and it's like, well, Jordan, it's time for your last meal. One rule: it can only be on Marco Island. You can only be from a restaurant on Marco. What's your last meal?
I feel like it doesn't change my answer on my favorite restaurant, to be honest. Just because of the nostalgia of when I used to always go to this place and watch football and everything. But I would say the brewery.
Okay.
Because
what from the brewery, though? Because it's your last meal.
Brewery?
You can't just say, give me the whole menu. Well, I mean, you could, but they'd probably say
menu.
No.
No.
It's like that one guy on death row who his last meal request was a Bible. You ever hear about that? No, he was this Satanist guy. He was covered in tattoos. He had massive gauges. I don't like the looks of those clouds.
Yeah.
If we start getting rained out, it's going to be wild.
I wish we could, pan it that way and be like...
Well, we could. Well, wait, no, take a video on your phone really quick, and I'll just sync it up.
True.
Which
way should I take it? This way?
Landscape. Always landscape.
Always landscape.
Okay, first
4K?
start recording me, and I'm going to clap. And now look at those clouds over there. So I can sync it up perfectly. Yeah. Interesting. Cool.
Stuff.
Well, it actually
I'm
feels...
panning above us as well. I feel like it's drizzling, but I can't tell if
it's
I'm
not.
tripping.
But it feels a lot cooler now. This is going to be really funny if we get rained out. If we do
Next
get
time
rained
we'll pick
out,
a place with a cover.
Yeah. If we do get rained out, by the way, first things to grab is going to be this soundboard, then the cameras.
I had a feeling.
In fact, you grab the cameras, I'll grab the soundboard.
That works for me.
And we just book it to my car. So what meal?
Food. Yeah. I can't fully remember the name of this one pasta that they have, but it's like a chicken pasta.
BLT.
Huh? Exactly. I'm glad you're reading my mind. It's so it's like this chicken pasta, or I would do like a pizza loaf, which is like an appetizer, but I don't eat that much anyway. Okay. So, but like pretty much anything you can pick off there.
Well, I have very specific. So my last my last meal, my death row meal, is not on Marco. It is from Outback. It is a 16-ounce seasoned and seared prime rib, medium rare with Caesar salad and fries. That is my last meal.
I dig. Have you tried their wings? They're like
wings
appetizer
from
wings.
Outback?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I will
They're
have to
good.
at some point. Yo, someone just pulled up. Is that people we know? No, it's not.
Kind of looked like I know who
I
you
thought
thought
it was. My last meal, if it had to be somewhere on Marco, would absolutely be from Crazy Flamingos. It would be the burger with garlic bread.
Yes, that is actually fire.
The garlic bread burger is absolutely incredible.
It is delicious.
It is
super filling, super amazing.
And I've never had a burger with garlic bread elsewhere. I didn't know that it was a thing. I mean, it seems so obvious to do, but it's, yeah.
I'm going to kind of whisper this because I don't know how loud they can hear me over there. I don't know how loud they can hear me over there.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
But I think it's kind of weird how we were just worried about the rain and these people just sat down to eat.
That is very funny. It's because it's probably going to start raining within like the next 10 to 15 minutes. And
they're just like sitting
there.
there.
Yeah, they're just chilling. They're literally chilling.
McDonald's?
It is absolutely McDonald's. And one of them is a volunteer at Camp Mackle. You can tell because it says lit on the back of their shirt.
What does lit stand for?
Leadership and training. I just figured that out and I didn't know that. They probably, if they look over here and they notice that we're both staring at them, speaking very softly into microphones, that would be hilarious. Yeah, I'll also stare into the camera. This is ASMR. Did you know that ASMR stands for Audio Syndicated Meridian Response. Auditory. There is that siren in the background has been going for so long.
Condo for sale.
Oh, the wind's starting to pick up.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is so cool.
Are there
it's like
trees
a twister.
Behind us? Can they see it? They can
yeah, they
see
can
it.
absolutely.
You know, I think that's gonna be the movie of the summer. Twister.
Twister?
Yeah.
I'm moving my pop filter in the direction of the.
I don't know if mine can help at all.
No, it's fine.
The wind is coming right at me.
It is.
I want a flower.
You know, let's see. This podcast has been.
We just entered a hurricane.
I think this podcast has been a good length for a initial podcast.
It's a good taste of.
Do you
how
have
it's gonna
any
go.
final thoughts before the storm of the century begins?
See you next week.
See you next week. Are we going to do this weekly?
I would love to do it
next
weekly.
week's episode is going to be on the Otter Mound.
Yeah. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. Also, if you want to appear on this podcast, go ahead and comment or DM us on Instagram at Good Morning Marco Pod. That's GOOM. Wait, GOOM. Goom. It's Goomer from Sam and Cat. Also, all the other podcasts are going to be a lot more about Marco Island than this one. All the other podcasts are going to be a lot more about Marco Island than this one. No, this is actually a perfect, like, Marco Island-esque ending to the pod.
Yeah.
This guy who's coming up on our
Welcome
left.
to rainy season.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of Marco Island because it's afternoon. I thought I just heard rain off in the distance. This is actually going to be really fun. We're going to have some good reels from this
Marco.
one. Good night, Marco. Yeah, it's about to rain because we're recording this in the afternoon, it's like
that afternoon shower.
The afternoon showers.
Except
July.
it rained this morning as well, so I didn't think it would rain. Yeah.
You know, I also checked the weather yesterday to be sure that it wasn't going to rain.
Expect the unexpected.
And it was only a 20% chance of rain right now.
Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll all just because I realized that earlier everything was kind of dancing around Marco. So maybe we'll.
But here's the thing, though: those clouds are going this way.
Yeah. Well, now they're going that way. Earlier it was coming that way.
The wind is coming this way. The dark clouds are in that distance. Yeah, you can all. If we'll
like
also have we'll have a little time lapse of this entire podcast where you can see it slowly get darker.
We should do that and post it on the Instagram.
100%.
Well, that's all, folks.
Real quick, because it's not raining yet.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Marco?
My favorite thing about Marco If you have an answer, you should go first.
Okay, mine's kind of ironic. Like, mine kind of ironic. Nextdoor.
The app?
Yeah, are you on Nextdoor?
I am on Nextdoor. Did you see the water spout that was yesterday morning?
No, I didn't.
It was right in front of like Tesoro, the Marriott. Yeah.
You know what I think will be a very fun episode? Reviewing Nextdoor content. Like,
yes.
Look, we won't dox anybody, but it's so funny. Like, everyone on this island posts their Nextdoor stuff in all caps, and it's just like, hello, I am selling a colander, $30,000. Like,
yes. I think my favorite thing about Marco is probably gonna have to be probably just the memories that I have here. You know, like, I feel like
it's time to make more.
It is.
Time to make more.
Good Morning Marco is definitely going to be one of them.
Yeah. So, everyone, have a phenomenal morning. If you're on your way to work, enjoy it. We're both drinking our coffee right now. Go ahead and finish up your coffee. Yeah, cheers. Follow us at Good Morning Marco Pod.
Like and subscribe.
Hit that notification bell. Make sure instead of having personalized notifications on, it is for all. The day that we drop all these episodes on audio platforms, I'm going to need everyone to do a favor. Rate this show 5 stars and download everything. That will give us such an immaculate push to actually grow this into what we want it to be. So rate us 5 stars, download the episodes, like, subscribe, comment, all those things. Jordan, where can they find you?
Where can they find me?
Yeah, like, not at your house, like on social media.
On social media, I'm mostly on Instagram, JGKraley03.
Do you have your travel?
I do. I just
Instagram
started a travel Instagram. We're gonna see how that goes.
You can say the @ if you want.
Well, thank you. I don't know.
This is our podcast.
It's @poeticpaths_.
All right, and then you can find me in a couple places. So you can find me Ryan.Sullivan2002 on Instagram. You can also find. If you look up Ryan Sullivan Sully Gunther, you can find my old YouTube channel. I don't know why you'd want to do that. You can also find my other podcast at The Pickle Jar Pod. That is currently on all platforms, and the rain is coming. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great morning.
Bye, guys.
I've been Ryan Sullivan.
And I've been Jordan Kraley.
Adios, folks.
Bye.